Hello, and welcome back to the Breaking the Chains podcast. How we got a special guest for you today. I'm super excited to introduce y'all to one of my dearest friends, Barbara McIntyre. Welcome, Barbara, and thank you for taking your time to come.
Thank you so much, love.
And being on this podcast. I couldn't have thought of a better person. Our topic tonight is going to be on determination, overcoming spiritual obstacles, and spiritual warfare. And so I couldn't have picked a better person to discuss that with me. But first, I want to go back and tell everybody how I remembered you. And the very first time that I met you, I was going before City Council in Cleveland, and I had a project that I wanted to present to them. And at that time in my life, I was really nervous and, really intimidated by suits. I wasn't very sure of myself, and so I can remember sitting there, a nervous wreck. I'm watching all the city councilmen come in and sit down at their chairs, and I was about to throw up. And in walks this beautiful lady, and I can remember you wearing this beautiful white suit, white shoes to match, gorgeous hair, gorgeous fingernails, and I'm going, wow, who is this woman? I mean, who is she? And all of a sudden, I got up and I presented my situation, and all of a sudden, you spoke, and you spoke with such confidence and such compassion toward me, and I felt that I was not even worthy of being in that room. But for the first time, I felt if somebody like this can acknowledge me and care about what I was saying, I can do this. And so I don't know if you know that, but you were probably the push that I needed to carry on with what I've been doing for 23 years. And I just wanted you to know it really meant a lot to me. And so sometimes just having that one person, it means a lot. But I just wanted to kind of go over a few things and ask you a series of questions. Okay. I just want to ask you a question about how, at first, the beginning. I usually try to talk to the folks that come in here about their childhood, because a lot of times that's how they begin and where their future starts, even though you don't know it. Mm-hmm. So the first question I have for you is, I always like to start by asking about your childhood and what kind of driving force that you had to make you the woman that you are today.
Well, I remember growing up as a child, living in a community where there were a lot of love and neighbors. And so you had to get up and acknowledge every house. If you saw someone sitting on the porch, you had to do that. And so as a child, we had community. I think that's what I remember the most. And I don't remember anybody's name, but I just felt safe because people were always encouraging and making sure the children were safe. Yeah. That's what I remember as a child. As for my household makeup, I have very strong women in my life who was always determined to say you can do anything through Christ. And so if you trust God, and I remember my mother when I was struggling in school, believe it or not, I was struggling, would tell me to put the Bible under my pillow at night. Oh, wow. And whatever I needed to pray about, to open it up and sleep on it. To have it for the next day. And so all the things that I felt like I was not capable of, all the things that society tells us we cannot do, we start believing it. Yeah. And so I think I had to get to a place where even though I was afraid, I still had to do it, right? I was still determined to be afraid, do it afraid. Yeah. Just do it. Yeah. What's the worst thing could happen? And I think being a young female it was instilled in me that you have purpose and destiny, and so God is going to always be there. He's going to catch you. He's not going to let you fall. Right. And so that's what I remember about childhood and getting whoopings. Yeah.
That's what the mistake when they took out the whipping the hiney and you making sure that we were disciplined in the correct manner. Yeah. A lot of people looked at it as maybe an abusive situation, but I can remember it only took one time, a whipping from my father, to never do it again. And I think, maybe we're failed in that just a little bit. But since the topic today is on determination, overcoming spiritual warfare, I thought you would be the perfect guest. And so this question here is on determination and empowerment. What does it mean to be determined as a woman in today's world? And how has that determination shaped your life?
Well, I don't think we have choices in the society that we're in. I don't think as a female, and when I wake up every day, I am a African American female, and that will never change. And so I think the way I was raised was always being conscious of who I was, always knowing that I had to do better.
Yeah.
And I couldn't just go and do what the average child did. And then I think Sunday school and being on the morning bench. You remember that when you was going to get baptized? You had to stay there for a whole week. If you didn't make a certain sound, you still had to stay there. It's like, I think revival went on for months.
Yeah.
I think God spoke to me on that morning bench and made me realize that there's something in you that is different from most, and stop trying to be like everybody else. And I was 11.
Oh, wow.
I was 11 years old, and I can remember that. And so the safest place for me has always been in the church house.
Yeah.
And so in 2026, the church house is not the safest place for me anymore.
Yeah.
And it's not safe for me because I know who I am in Christ, and I want to see what I read. I want to see the word come alive. When it talks in Matthews, I was hungry. You didn't feed me.
Yes, ma'am.
I was thirsty. You didn't give me drink. I was in prison and you didn't come see me. But when?
Yeah.
What you do to the least of them, you do to me. I want to see that.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to walk and talk to talk. I'm determined.
Yes, ma'am. I feel that spirit very strongly in you, and I think that's why we had such a great connection. I can remember so many times going to your house and just being overwhelmed with all the positive things that you had written on your walls, sitting on your desk. It was just a room full of inspiration. And so I think that you not only do that for yourself, but you present that to other people. And so when you go into your office, it represents really who you are. And that says a lot. Question number 2, how has your determination helped you overcome obstacles that others might not see significant? I mean, in other words, how did you be determined to overcome all of this throughout life? And
well, I think in life you, as long as you're living, you're going to walk life. And so you have to be determined to succeed at what it is you're doing.
Yeah.
Failure is not an option. Failure is not an option for me. Not only is failure not an option for me, it's not an option for anyone around me. It's not for anyone who God has assigned me to.
Yeah.
I feel like from the day I met you, which I don't remember that day at City Hall, I thought we had a conversation before that. But I don't know, it was something about you from day one of determination. I saw all those things in you. I just knew you didn't see them.
Yes, ma'am.
I know you didn't see them because of all the things that transpire in our lives. And I think having mentors in your life and people that can encourage you outside of the circle of people that are supposed to love you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Having each other. And so being a female and a woman, I want to empower others.
Yeah.
I want somebody there for my grandkids. I want to sow a seed that my grandbaby can be all she want to be.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Such a great leader, and that's very important. Question number 3, what is the most important factor that fuels your determination? When you get up in the morning and stuff and just don't want to do it, what makes you just get up and say, you know what, I'm going to go get this done no matter how I feel, no matter what the day holds, I'm going to go get it done.
And who's going to try to stand in front of me?
Yeah.
I understand the adversary. And I don't want to make this about religion, but it is. And it's not religion, but the word of God.
Yeah.
And that's what I have no choice but to stand on. And so the adversary comes to steal, kill, and destroy.
Amen.
Okay, so if I was blessed to wake up this morning, that means I still have purpose. And so I don't know who God has set before me this day, but my prayer is, Lord, let me be a blessing to someone. Show me. And everything that is not for me, show me that as well. Because we have to learn how to walk through this life with the disappointments.
Yeah.
Just knowing that he's going to be there. And have people you can call. I mean, I call you all the time for resources and things. Because I know you got my back when I need things. And when the people in the community need things. And so I just don't think failure is an option. Because if God said you have one more day, I have one more day to get it right.
Exactly right.
One more day to get it right.
Yeah, that's great advice. I can remember sometimes you would call me 6 o'clock in the morning. I remember one time at 5:30 in the morning, and that's when things was going on with Angel. You had no idea. It had just happened. And all of a sudden, my phone rings at 6 o'clock in the morning. And you said, all right, Brenda Myers, I feel you in my spirit. What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I just always kept going, well, how did she know? I mean, how did she really, truly know that I was going through this at that moment? Until the leadership and the faith and the scriptures that you have poured into me, I started going, I understand. She just has this spiritual connection that a lot of people miss.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't get. And, you know, and a prime example of that was when Angel was going through the suicide of her boyfriend. You know, we went through a lot of traumatic stuff. And I told her that one day that this tragedy would turn into purpose. And she kept always telling me, well, I just don't understand. So when she moved to Georgia, she worked in a children's hospital. And I can remember her calling me one night. And she said that there was a 4-year-old little girl who had cancer, and they put her on that cancer floor. She said she was walking down the hallway, and the room smelled like death, and she kind of opened it up, and there was a 4-year-old little girl sitting there who was bald-headed. Angel said she walked over to the bed, grabbed her by the hand, and started singing Jesus Loves Me. And she said, Grammy, I know what you're talking about now. And I said, exactly, because if you wouldn't have had that passion, you wouldn't have knew about death already, it would have triggered you in a different way, and you might have passed that room up. And so there is where God has connected you.
The pain is part of the process. The pain is part of the process, and the pain is necessary because you have to identify what's going on with people, because they're not going to tell you. People are not going to share with you till they know you care. Right?
Exactly.
When they know you care and you can keep a secret, they're going to tell you. They're going to tell you those things. But one of the things I have always loved about you is when we were in the park and you had all these pieces of wood for the children, and you was on the ground, and I was like, the girl is on the ground. Now y'all know I don't get dirty. So, and then you had the motorcycle. You had the motorcycle organization that loved kids and took the kids on I was on a motorcycle, going on a motorcycle ride. I just felt love in everything you were doing. Right? I didn't understand it, but I could feel the love in your heart for it, and I could feel that this was part of a purpose, and that's why I always say, look, God has placed me in your life for you. So I know when something is not always right with you. Sometimes I try to wait for you to share it, but I'd be like, okay, don't call at 3:30 in the morning. Okay, what time is it? All right, it's 5 o'clock. I'll call it. She should be here, right? We know what. There are people who are assigned to us, and God has placed you here in Shepherd with an assignment. And I know it gets difficult sometimes, and it's heavy. And I know sometimes when I share things with you, it don't always make sense at the time. But I can tell you, I walked through it.
Yes, ma'am.
I walked through it a lot of sharing and caring, and sometimes it scares people when you know stuff that is coming. And they can't even wrap their head around it, but God shares it with us so that we can walk with people.
And, you know, I can just remember certain things that you said. And, one of them was always put God first. You would say, Brenda, stay in your own lane. Their lane is not your lane.
That's right.
And that was one of my biggest things, because I was always worrying about something else that somebody else was doing. But once I learned to put, and sometimes it still bothers me, we have different situations, but for the majority of it, when stuff starts to happen or I get upset, I go, Barbara said, stay in your lane. Barbara said, stay in your lane. Just remember, just stay in your lane. So just simple words like that is something encouraging to me. And you'd always say, put God first. Let God fight your battles. You would always tell me, this is not my fight.
No.
And so, it's just things that you have said to me that will always stay with me for life. And so even through difficult times. And I'm not sure if you even realize how much that has meant to me and what the woman that I have really become today spiritually and believing in myself a whole lot more. Why would somebody who looks like you, and carry yourself and can set a room on fire, any room. I mean, you deal with senators and governors and presidents, but you cared about little old me and what my passion was for the people. And
You're
so
important to God, honey.
Yeah.
You pack a lot of power. You pack a lot of power, and we don't have to always be dressed up and polished. I had the opportunity with my grandmother and especially my grandmother, to making sure important, because she used to make our clothes, right? She used to make our clothes, and they were always matching, and I had to sit a certain way and sit at the table a certain way. I'm the oldest of 7.
Oh, wow.
Right? And I was the only one that had to follow all those rituals, I call them, like, what? And I had an aunt on my daddy's side that was that way with me all the time too, about how I look in my and they would say, you're going places that most of us won't get a chance to. And I go in those places, but I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm still nervous about it. I'm still trying to figure out why. But clothes don't make a person. It's a heart. God judges us by our heart.
Amen.
But I'm just a shopaholic. My husband said it all the time. It's just a shopaholic. But being polished, because the first impression, basically,
that's on here too.
Yeah, the first impression of who you are and what people perceive you to be. Mm-hmm. I've been a realtor. I want to say a realtor for 20 some years. And I could sell the same house 100 times, but I bought a Ford Focus. The first time I sold about 78 acres up in Cold Springs, and I got a commission. And I think my commission was 10%. And I went to buy a car, and I wanted my dream car. And they wouldn't sell it to me. They kept asking me all kind of questions like, where's your husband? Who's going to help you pay for this? And I was like, I don't do too well with that. So I didn't act too good. I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. And I test drove the car. Matter of fact, I test drove the car, and I kept the car overnight. And I took it back the next day, and I said, okay, I'm ready to sign the paper. Well, I'd already researched the car, because it was a dream car. I knew what I was going to pay for it in negotiation. And so they just assumed because I was a female, and I also know that because I was a black female, that I didn't know what I was doing. So I said, I tell you what, here is your keys. Give me back my keys. And I came to Cleveland and bought a Ford Focus. Cash.
There you go. That reminds me of that Julia Roberts movie and stuff where she said, you just should have listened, you just should have done it, So, God, you so remind me of that. Absolutely. But, there's just a couple things that I remember also. I remember when I started working at Mary Kay, and I could guarantee you 10 lipsticks for sure. I mean, as soon as my order came in, I would run to Barbara's house, and she would go, I want this one. I bet she's got every color of lipstick that imaginable. And then I can remember the first time I took my granddaughters to your house. Mm-hmm. They got in the car and they go, Grammy, you would not believe how many shoes that lady has. I mean, the shoes and the lipstick she got, And so you just had such a positive influence on my granddaughters. I just adopted them, and so they had been through some struggles, but they get the biggest kick out of going with you, and you were always so thoughtful.
Yes.
And always
they were so lovable. Yeah. And I remember them girls praying and I remember them talking about going to the flagpole at the school and praying. And I also remember them taking up for girls that was being bullied, right? Yeah. Which means everything that you were doing was right. Yes, and doing the best that you could, and you were advocating on their behalf the whole time. So there is this warrior in you, and you can see it in your community right now. No one could ever imagine what you have accomplished on this corner.
Wow, I thank you.
What can they do about it? Yeah. Nothing. There's no stopping you. Yeah. I tell you that all the time. There is no stopping you.
Well, I'm just very fortunate that God has handpicked these angels, from, people like you at your level, that spiritually has guided me through this process, to where I now have enough confidence to know that I have a team behind me that loves and has the compassion.
Team.
Yeah. And so I just can't ask for anything any better. But there was just a couple of times that I just remember, and the girls always talked about that. But question number 5, we talked about first impressions.
Yes.
And so me, I'm a blue jean, I'm wearing, tennis shoes all the time. But, most podcasts, you see most people dressed up. But, this is who I am. And most of the time I'm out there 8 hours a day mowing and weed eating and things like that. And so, but I can also dress up as well.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, so I just, choose whatever, but never ever have I not seen you. Even when you're out there doing them races and things, you got matching baseball caps on with purple tennis shoes, and so even in them environments, you hold your own as far as class goes, and it shows with everything that you are. And I think that's why I'm just always been in such awe of who you are. But so let's talk a little bit about overcoming the spiritual warfare. This here we already know. As soon as we turn on the TV or the radio or anything these days, just in the last week, I've had parents come up here and the devil is just definitely after these children, and so with suicide and everything. But I can remember so many times that when you called me, you could tell that something was going on, and that's where I'm at now. When I see these kids come in, I can look across that room and I can tell the ones that are on the edge. I usually can tell if something is going on with them. And so that's a gift after a certain amount of time. I think when you become a spiritual warrior like that, you can identify, can't you? I bet you can walk into a room and you usually can tell some people that's going through issues or somebody you probably ought to stay away from because your hair stands up on the back of your neck. I don't know.
I think the challenge for all of us is we always want to see more about what challenges us versus what we know. And I think dealing with as much pain as I have in my life, and I've been truly blessed. I can honestly say I've been truly blessed to not have encountered what most people have, and that's why I'm more determined to make sure that people who have those type of situations, that there is a support system for them. But in praying and talking and sharing with God and trying to be a better me, what God shows me most of the time that teaches me something is me. And that is, why do you do what you do? And some things we have suppressed for so long, and depending on where you were raised and how you were raised, and I was raised in the next state, Louisiana. What happens in your house stays in your house.
Yes, I see that.
What we talk about with each other. And so when you're dealing with challenges, you're afraid to ask other people or tell other people, or you think you're the only one dealing with it. And so I think for me, spiritual warfare is more about the insecurities I have within. Right? And I can identify that in others quickly. I can identify when someone is in need of help and on the verge. I may not always understand everything about it, but I know I need to have a conversation with them. Like you walk up behind someone that says, "How are you?" And I'm looking like, okay, why you talking to me? And I was like, I just want to be a blessing today. Like, how are you doing? Right? And I just been so blessed to have information. And I said, so tell me what do you need? What are some of the needs you have? And they'll tell me, and I'll say, okay, let me share this number with you. Let me share this with you. Let me share that with you. But just being kind, just being kind to one another, and understanding that Satan came for no other reason but destroy everything that God has created. He created us. And when he was done, he said, it is good. It is good, everything that he's created. So walking into a room and seeing people in trouble, it's not always your assignment to do something about it.
Yeah, that's my problem. Yeah.
Right? And so you are a doer, and I'm a doer. And being a doer, you encounter more pain from the people you try to help because your timing may be off. Right? It may not be the right time for them. It may not be trust yet. You may not have developed that rapport where they feel comfortable enough. Or people always see you differently than you see yourself. Right? And it's like, oh, Miss Brenda does this and does that, and she's always doing for the community and helping everybody. I don't want her to be I don't want her to feel sorry for me or judge me or cause her problems, right? Right. But those are the very people that you come to help. Those are the same people Jesus walked on this earth for, right? That he went to the cross for. And so we just got to show love and not judge. And that's not easy. That's not an easy thing to do. And as a person who always want to understand stuff, when you tell me I'm homeless, my first question is why? You know, why? And so I've had to learn, look, it's not your business why. Can you help the person?
Yeah.
Right. And so the more you talk to them, and one of the things we do with the nonprofit is case management. And so there's a lot of questions, and God has taught me that's not my job.
Yeah.
My job is to go find the funding that's necessarily connect to people with the resources, but not to sit and ask the questions, because people are intimidated by me asking questions. They're not so intimidated by the people that I work with, but just looking at me look like you don't have no problems. I have problems like everybody else.
Yeah.
And my problems are bigger because as you overcome one set of demons to another place, they get strong. They get bigger.
Right. And, you know, I can see that happening, you know, because like I said, the way you present yourself, I would be if I didn't know you. But when people come into my shop, I'm a little different. I got my hair back in a ponytail. Most of the time I got dirt on my face. And then when I see that, I tell them my story first. And then they're going, really? That happened to you? And I said, you know, there's one thing that I always hated the most, when somebody would look at me and they'd say, I know how you feel. Well, have you ever been a drug addict? How about an alcoholic? Have you ever been any of those things? Well, see, you don't know how I feel. And so that right there lowers their expectations of and it lowers that wall. And then, you know, I'll ask, you know, so is there something you might be going through? And so, you know, we have different ways of presenting that, but me and you are just alike. We're out there fighting for the compassion of these people, because you see it every day. You see people that are homeless every day. And so we just have to continue our mission no matter what. And so number 6, I have what are practical daily disciplines that you do to strengthen your spiritual defenses? That's a hard one.
That's a very hard.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do when stuff is coming at you like BBs? What is something that you practice that shows discipline that helps you with spiritual defense?
Well, I'm determined to get up and spend some time with God. Obviously, if He wakes me up at 3 o'clock in the morning, there is a reason.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you're familiar with the scriptures about the watchman on the wall, the watchman on the wall, at certain times of the hour, there's different spirits that's moving in the atmosphere. And so there's watchmen from so on the average, I'm up about 2:30. I don't always get out of bed like I used to. But to get out at 2:30 to probably about 4 o'clock in the morning, that's my praying time. That's my time with God, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so I know a lot of people who have different times of the day. So that's what I start out with the most. And I'm to the place now where I have to have a conversation with God, because there's too much happening right now that don't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It does not add up with what the scripture says. And so faith simply says, you know what it said. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So I can't see it, I don't understand it, but I'm blessed. So how do I help everybody else to be blessed?
And to go down that same path.
And so everybody is not going to have the same path, right? Everybody is not going to make the right decision, but He always gives us a mean of escape. So if I'm going left and I should have went right, I'm going to do a left. And I say in Texas, all you got to do is make 2 squares and you'll be right back to where. But sometimes you know it's wrong, you just want to do it. Yeah. Sometimes you know it's wrong, you just want to do it, and so you go ahead. So for me, I know that that's my resting time. I've learned that God gives us rest. He expects us to rest. That's His peace to us. And when I saw that, I read it, and I just go researching it. And when things happen, my question to God is, and the Spirit of God is, what is the significance of that? Like if I see a bird, what is the significance of a red bird? What is the significance of walking outside that time of morning when the sun is coming up? And the sky looks like it's on fire sometimes, and then sometimes it looks really dark. What is and why am I seeing that? Right? That's and so when I'm released from that, there's usually a lot of information being downloaded in your spirit at the same time.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's being downloaded in your spirit. And that day you have all these ideas of things you have to get accomplished. But sometimes we want to get it all done the same day. He didn't necessarily say that.
Yeah.
He just showed it to you of things that you can get done or who you should be having a conversation with.
And so that's why I get them phone calls sometime at 6 o'clock in the morning. That kind of puts a perspective on things. Yeah, okay.
And I take a nap. When I don't understand something and it gets really confusing, because if too many things start coming at you at once, I forgot to pay the electric bill and the electricity is turned off. Now, I done paid everybody else's. I done took the money from energy and paid everybody else's electric bill, but I forgot to pay mine. And the electric bill is off, the power turns off, and they said the internet's not working. I said, what do you mean the internet not working? What kind of crazy mess is that? Just go reset. And it's like, there ain't no power. I was like, well, okay. Let me call energy and see what's wrong. And it's like, okay. And then you're driving in Houston, and there's every 10 minutes there's a wreck, and you can't move. But you have to be somewhere at 7. Right? You have to be somewhere by 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't do late. And so now I'm really frustrated. I said, okay, you know what? I need to turn the car around and go home. And I just go home and get in the bed and take a nap. Because I miss something. I honestly miss something.
Yeah.
You can't be so giving to take care of everybody else's stuff that your house is not in order. Because the first time your house is not in order, nothing else you're doing is in order. That's where Satan wants you. But if you can slow down, and going back to sleep works for me.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing for everybody else. I know some people get up and start mopping the floor and cleaning the closets, and that's me. I'm not that girl.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. During that last ice storm, I had all the generators up here. I had one sitting on my front porch. I had my neighbors up here working on the generator, and I get a call from my mom, and Mom goes, what is this generator sitting on the front porch? You know, we can't get it started. I was like, oh God, I forgot to get the gas, you know? And so I get it completely. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So
it's just some distractions. So stopping, laying down, taking a nap, and it may last 5 minutes. But that's what I needed, because when I get up now, I am refreshed, reset. And now it's like, okay, Lord, what's next?
And ready for the world. Wow, that's amazing. So question number 7, how does Satan work to destroy us? Like I said, this week alone, I had 4 different parents that came here with different types of situations, but almost similar. Their children had overdosed. I mean, different things happening. And so how do we deal with that kind of spiritual warfare when we know that a lot of our young kids are wanting to commit suicide? I mean, how do we fight against this spiritual warfare, you know, with our children? What advice would you use as a leader, would you give to these parents?
That is so tough, because Satan's come to steal, kill, and destroy. If he can't get to you, he's going to get to everything and everyone around you. And so you cannot make other people do anything. You can't change them, right? And so they have a purpose as well, right? So God has the purpose for you. He has a purpose, like when a situation with your granddaughters, you were so afraid for them to leave, right?
I know.
And I said, Brenda, it's going to be okay. If nothing else, we're going to Georgia. It's not a problem. Let's just drive. We'll fly to Georgia. The problem is you had a purpose and a focus. And in your heart of heart, you wanted everybody to stay close and so you can protect them, but carry on your legacy. But that wasn't God's plan. They had to go off, get some education, get some life skills on their own, and still came back to Grammy now, because everybody's journey is not the same. So I would say to parents who are loving their children and praying for their children, never stop praying. Never stop praying. Never stop talking, irregardless to whether you think they're listening or not. And try to bring in a support system. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. You are the advocate person for your child, and you got to fight. And if you have to leave your community to get the help your children need, that's what you're going to have to do. If you have to move to get the help for your children, do it.
And that's great advice. I mean, I specifically told 2 parents this week, our group over here on Thursday nights can give you the information. We can point you in the right direction. But if mom does not bring them, then the children are not getting the need. They're not getting scripture. They're not getting Bible verses. They're not getting, awareness about situations that's going on right here in our community. That room should be full over there. And so I think we got 3 or 4 different families coming tonight because it took something very, very serious to start happening, and people's lights are starting to come on. This is an epidemic, and this things that these kids are finding as a popular way out. And so we have to, that's great advice, Barbara, because I mean, it's really scary and what these kids and parents are going through. But
you are the light on this. You notice this is a corner. This is a corner, and eventually you will own it all. Eventually you will. Because you're just building out in all these different places. And so there is somewhere for them to come.
Yes, ma'am.
And so sometimes just getting in, you learn when you're helping people, though, that they have so much trauma themselves that it's hard for them to believe that, 1, someone is going to help. 2, someone even cares, and that their voice matter. And so that there's no hope. And we have to be the hope. And parents have no choice to be the hope of their children. And children are going to respect them parents no matter how much they fight, because that's the only help they have. And so I'm glad that that you're here, and that God is sending out the help that you need and determination. Because I remember when, like I said, you were sitting on the floor in the grass with the kids, but you were determined to help them. So the children is definitely part of your purpose.
Yes, ma'am. Really close to my heart. Just a few more questions. Let's see. I lost my place. Number 8, how can we address spiritual warfare in a world saturated with misinformation and this AI that you tell me about?
I love it.
AI-driven deception. And so since you love it, I've never been on it. But it is a lot of, problems, I think, in some aspects when you don't know how to use it properly. So the question again is, how would you address the spiritual warfare in a world saturated with this kind of misinformation?
Well, 1, I'm going to have to go back to being old school. Telling my age. Now, in my household, my parents was the head of it. We didn't have choices.
Thank you.
Right? If they didn't buy the phones and the games, we didn't get them. And do you remember that commercial that used to say, do you know where your children are?
Yes,
at a certain time? Yeah, that was on the national news.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Parents have to get back in control. We have to get back in control. Satan ain't never going to stop. Right? And so we can sit here and say, and it's a reality. Some people run away from God and religion because of all the things that they've been told and all the different religions. The Word of God never changes, right? And so until you know that, and so I remember when my grandkids was little, I was trying to teach them what I knew, and they would just be looking at me. And my grandson say, "Okay, Grandma, I know Jesus died, and but he got up, but where is he now?" Right? And I was thinking, okay, that may not be a question that I can answer so that he understand it at his level. Right? Because he haven't lived what I live. Now, I always told them, if you get in trouble, call Jesus. To say Jesus. If you don't know any words, say Jesus in Scripture. I got one grandbaby that will pray on the drop of a dime, because I probably had to lay a little oil on her more than anybody else. So, is praying. Now, that is not everybody's household. Right? People are coping with what they know and all they know, and God is not at the top of everybody's list. I would say that's why Satan is running so rampant. Where are we, though? We are Christians who mind our own business. Some of our churches, we all can't go in. Some of our churches, women can't speak. If you're not treated right in your community trying to help everybody, you're not going to get the same treatment in church. So we can't send them there. There's not a place to go. So then what do? All we're going to do is be the example. Be the light.
That's good.
That's the only thing you can do, is be the light and set standards and boundaries for where you are and what you're teaching, right? Because when these children leave your presence and go home, if they don't remember the way you love them and what you told them that they can hold on to, then they are in trouble.
Yeah.
Right? Because, I mean, we don't know what's being believed in everybody's household. So when you're talking about spiritual warfare and what God you believe, I believe there's only one.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Me too.
But other folks do. And so we are supposed to respect everyone's rights and beliefs. But in my house, we're going to serve God.
Yes, ma'am.
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's what we're going to serve, and that's what we believe. But we have to be the example for them. And fighting in warfare is teaching them.
Yeah. And I think that's why our Thursday nights meetings have, I'm starting to see more people come, because the more this chaos that's been going on, they're looking for scripture. I mean, just last week we had a family that came in, and I'd been talking to the mom, and they came in that next day with dad and the other little boy and stuff, and the mom goes, "We're going to church with Miss Brenda on Sunday." He said, "What's that?" And for just a second, I thought, I didn't know that there was people that didn't know what church is. And so, at that very moment, I just seen the need so badly. And so they came to my church, and we're all becoming really good friends now. But them boys Sunday at my church, we do a testimony, and I stood up and I said, "Pastor, congregation, I want y'all to see all them kids that are sitting on that front row. All of those kids go to the Impact Center." And I said, "Which one of you young people can tell me what commandment number 1 is?" And that little boy raised his hand. And I said, "How about commandment number 2? And they said it. And I said, "This is exactly why that it's important for our elders in this church and stuff to get involved, even if it's one kid." And so I'm just really proud that, we have this opportunity, but it's starting to take a life of its own. And so I'm pretty proud that people are coming now.
Well, you are going to be. And so I think when we talk about the church is us. We are the church.
Yes,
we are
ma'am.
the church. We are the bride that God is coming back for. And so when we try to stir people to building, there has been church hurt. So the only thing that people are going to see is you.
Yes, ma'am.
What you do, how you do it, when you do it. They're watching you when you least expect. So we have to be consistent in that.
Yeah.
I am leery of telling folks to go to a building unless I'm in the building.
Yeah.
Unless I know the people in the building.
Right, yeah.
When I used to have a prison ministry, work with prison ministry, we would communicate with women inmates in prison so when they got out. And so what we would do is set up community to reach out to them and pull them in to help them once they got released, because we knew if they stayed out long enough, they were going to go back to what was familiar. And I had more problems with people being treated right inside the building. Now, I'm not saying all buildings are the same. I'm saying the building. And so the church hurt and the disappointment. And then one of the things where the women was locked up for 2 to 5 years, they were so glad to see a man. They didn't care who it was.
Yeah.
Right? And so there's another one of Satan's ways of distracting and causing problems. If you're going to love, the only thing love covers a multitude of sin. And love never fails.
Right.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so that's the God people are going to see. That's the church people are going to see.
Yes, ma'am.
Not the church house or somebody preaching at them. Because if you've never been to church and somebody preaching, you'll know what they're talking about anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
You're right.
And so I think we have to be very careful with setting examples and making sure we are reaching people where they are.
Yeah.
Because when the word said, God said, "Come as you are," is wherever you are in your spiritual walk with him.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
That's
He
it.
knows that, but the rest of us don't. So if you're in the church and you're taking them and you're consistent here, and I know you are,
Yes, ma'am.
then that is going to be something that's going to make a powerful impact.
Yes, ma'am.
That they're going to be able to hold on to.
Yes, ma'am. And that's what we're hoping, and just a piece of what we're doing. That I always enjoy watching the kids come back that from years ago, having their own children now, and just, the memories that we instilled in them, even if it was just for a short period of time, they took a little bit with them. Just a few more questions. I know you're a busy woman. And so what does a woman that works till she drops, gives backs daily, and puts compassion before herself, How do you have fun, Barbara?
Buy shoes.
I knew you were going to say that. Buy shoes. I said to myself when I wrote this that that's exactly what she was going to say.
Look, my husband say every time I leave the house, he say, "Honey, let me see your shoes," because the shoe boxes come in so much. He was like, "I want to see your shoes and see how many of those shoes you actually wear." So when I come out of the house, a lot of time when I come out of my room, he wanted to see my shoes to see if I have on a different pair of shoes, because we have a habit of putting on the same one. I have to make sure I put. Yeah, but shopping is a release for me, and it don't necessarily have to be shoes, but it just need to be out there buying something, keeping the economy rolling. But shoes and handbag, that's it. I'm sorry.
No, I already knew, but I love hearing you say that. So anyway, what do you think is the secret to success? I mean, you have done it all. I mean, what do you tell people, especially that, the ones that don't really think that they're worthy of accomplishing their goals and their dreams? I mean,
I think success is just doing it.
Yeah.
And be authentic to yourself. Mm-hmm. You don't have to look like somebody else or be like someone else. Just be you. Right? And so sometimes I know when I go places, there's like, oh, here she go again with them high heel shoes on and them matching clothes. And I'm saying, this is going to be me no matter what. Yeah. And sometimes I go play basketball with the kids on the basketball, and I have my shoes on, and they go like, she can't dunk that. I'll be like, yeah. You have to be your authentic self. And I can't tell somebody to believe in yourself because believing in something that you're already afraid of. Mm-hmm. But I say just do it. Yeah. The key is just do it. Because if it's in you, and a lot of times, no matter how many times you don't want to do something, you cannot not do it. Right? No matter how you want to stay home and rest, it's something that keeps pulling you back here. Mm-hmm. And that is a spirit of God saying, don't give up. You can do this. You can do this. But if you don't start it, you won't finish it, right?
Yep. And it's funny because you kind of have read a new story that's coming out about me. And me and my mother was going through boxes of pictures the other day. Well, I just had to share this with you because you know how insecure I was and some of the things that I've stumbled across my years. Well, I found my first grade report card, and I wanted to share this with you. Back in the 60s, they put the checks or X's. And when I started reading this, I went, she works quietly? No. She obeys. Wait a minute, I can't really say that. She obeys cheerfully? No. She tries to be courteous? No.
No.
Work and play well with others? No. And I'm going, wait a minute. Oh, F, D, C, C, C. And I'm going, I can't even spell or read. What is that with this, Mother? And she was kind of laughing. And I said, well, let's try the 6th grade. Maybe I progressed, somewhere in between. She kept all this. And so I looked at this one here and I was like, maybe I did a little bit better. No. And so, I did a little bit better in my grades, but then you look at the following directions, completing classwork. No. Has self-discipline, talks too much. Do you believe that? And so, it just really, I wanted to share this because at this time in my life, I would have never known that this is what I would be doing today.
Yes.
But, and looking back at this, I definitely wouldn't think, that I would even qualify to be able to lead people. And so this, all of it fits, when you go back to your past and kind of look at it and say, you know what, I made it. I can do this. And you're right. Just keep going.
You're not done.
You're not done. Yes, ma'am.
And when someone tell you what you can do, you pray about it and you do it. Because I know I always say, Lord, don't move my mountain. Just show me how to go over it or around it.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Right? Because the mountain is going to come no matter what, right? You can't control mountains not coming because that's just a part of the process of trials and tribulations. He just promised to be with you. And so don't move the mountain. Just give me the strength to climb it.
Amen, girl. That's it. One more last question. What is one piece of advice that you would like to leave with those who will be listening to this podcast? I just something that you could share with everybody who's watching out there and that they could take away from this wonderful podcast.
I would say continue to show the world your love. Continue to show the world your love. Make sure that you know you matter, irregardless of what people think. But if you know you matter, and you do, and whether you matter to the people around you, you matter to the person who created you.
Amen.
And then the second thing is, God has already did the work. He said when he made us, we were good. He said he knew you before you was in your mother's womb. He created you. He woven you. He gave you everything you need to get past to the end. So God starts at the end and take us to the beginning, but we start at the beginning trying to get to the end. He knows his purpose, what he put in you. You can do it. Don't listen to anybody who say no. They know means no right now.
That's
But
good.
there's a yes coming. There's a day coming when you don't have to deal with this anymore. And whatever people feel about you, remember this. That's their business. It don't have nothing to do with you. Because if you tell me not to buy no shoes, I'm going to buy it. And I'm probably going to buy 5.
Yeah, and that is so you. I couldn't have had more fun with this podcast,
this
Miss
was
Barbara.
good. This was good.
I love you with all of my heart,
love you.
and I thank you for joining us. And so join us next week for another podcast. And if you're watching out there, take her advice. Don't stop, keep going, and build your dreams. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you so much, love.